Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. Can you believe it? It is almost that time again. College football season is almost back. We have been waiting patiently for a very long time. We are down to our final weeks, down to our final days. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at all of our week 0, week 1 college football ranked matchups. We're going to go over all of our top 25 matchup games we have coming up. We're going to break them down. We're going to try to predict the outcome for every single one of them. Who's going to win, who's going to lose, what the final scores might be, and we'll also touch on our best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. Those of you who have been subscribed, you know, we love to get into detail on all these games because we love the stats, we love the football, we love the betting. And we just all around love football. It is almost football season. Guys, if you are not subscribed, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, by all means, drop them below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? What are your thoughts on these games? What are your predictions for week 1 of the college football season? Drop it in the comment section. I will respond to every single one of them. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, make sure to check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there. I would definitely appreciate it. We also have NFL season coming up. Once the football season starts, we go over every game every single week. We break them all down, doing predictions, doing best bets on every single matchup. So if you're a football fan, make sure that you like and that you subscribe so that you can follow along with us. So we're going to be breaking down those top 25 games, and there's some good ones. There's some actually really good top 25 on top 25 matchups. But let's get started looking at them. There's a lot of games to go over. Our very first one's going to be one of our week 0 matchups. We have Iowa State coming in here. Number 22, the Iowa State Cyclones. Matt Campbell's team back at quarterback. This is a team, they won 10 games last season. They made it to the Big 12 championship. They're going to be going to Dublin, Ireland, another Ireland game to open up the college football season. They're going to be playing number 17, Kansas State Wildcats. You always have to take Kansas State serious. Very well-coached team, very disciplined team, 2 great coaches, 2 underappreciated coaches, 2 underappreciated teams. Right now, a lot of people are picking Kansas State as one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the Big 12. You have a team who's favored to win the Big 12 versus a team who played in the Big 12 championship last season, and both of these teams with experienced veteran quarterbacks now. Like I said, back for Iowa State. You have Avery Johnson, the highest recruited player in Kansas State history. He's back. He's a dual threat, mobile quarterback, loves to extend plays, always keeping his eye down the field. Last season, Iowa State, 31.1 points a game, throwing for 256, which is pretty surprising for a Cyclones team, giving up 22.9. And then for K-State, 30.8 points a game, giving up 23.4. Avery Johnson here, definitely going to help with this run game. This is one of the better run games in the country last season. Top 20 rushing offense, running for 215.5. Right now, K-State, they're coming into this one 3.5-point favorites. That spread has actually been ticking up pretty quickly the last couple weeks. The over-under is going to be 49.5. We don't have the fan vote out yet. Right now, very competitive game. 2 teams, whenever you're playing game 1, you know it's going to be some sloppy play, kind of rusty football. The teams have to get kind of settled in the season. Anything can happen. And you are across the country playing in Dublin, Ireland, completely out of the entertainment. Why are they playing in Dublin? I don't really know why they picked Kansas State and Iowa State to represent the U.S. in Dublin Iron, but hey, it is what it is. We don't care. We're just glad that college football's back. We don't care where you play it. Give me Kansas State winning this one. I think it's going to be a very competitive game, but Kansas State is ultimately going to pull it away in the end. They win this one 28-24. In the next ranked game we're going to be looking at, we're going to be moving on to Thursday, August 28th at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN. Number 25, the Boise State Broncos versus the South Florida Bulls. This game is going to be on the road for Boise State. Boise State's coming in here 6.5-point favorites. The over-under is going to be 63.5. Vegas is seeing a lot of runs being scored. You definitely understand why. Boise State last season, they made the playoffs representing the group of 5. Do not underestimate the Boise State Broncos. We did pick them last season, preseason, to represent the group of 5. And Ashton Gentry, he went off. He was invited to the Heisman ceremony. One of the best running back performances we've seen in recent history for all of college football. But he's gone now. So how does Boise State replicate? How do they replace that massive production? He was like 65% of this entire team's offense last season, running for over 2,000 yards on the ground. Physical running back, practically running for 200 yards every other game. Crazy stuff there. Veteran squad, though. You return Maddox Madsen at the quarterback position. He took massive strides forward, but his safety blanket's gone. The play action, that's gone. They have to replicate that production from the running back position, but they're going to also have to rely on their wide receiver cores, on their passing game a lot more. Marshall, Penry, Caples. There's weapons there. You have a veteran quarterback. You're going to have an easier schedule. Everything is still sitting in front of you right now to, again, get at least back to 10 wins, maybe represent the group of 5 again in the final 12s in the playoffs. Right now, Boise State, last season, they averaged 37.3 points a game. They threw for 226. They ran for 240.4 per game, giving up 22.6. USF last season. Don't underestimate South Florida here. South Florida, they are a Florida team, a 3-star player in the state of Florida. It's probably a 4-star player anywhere else besides Florida, Texas, and California. There's still a lot of speed on this team. They're going to be able to score points. Last season, they averaged 32.2 points a game, giving up 29.8. They can score some points, but God, do they also give up some points. I'm going to go with Boise winning this game, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout first half. Boise State's depth, their experienced veteran quarterback, that's going to make the difference. Second half, Boise's going to win this one 38-27. And the next matchup we're going to have Friday, August 29th at 7:30 p.m. on Peacock Eastern. Illinois Bulldogs versus the number 12, the Fighting Illini. This team coming in here with a lot of praise right now, a lot of pressure on them because people actually have this game circled this season. Brett Bielema's team, you are coming into the regular season with massive expectations. Props to you. You had a great season last year, but some people are saying that you're going to be the 2025 version of Indiana. Now, can you live up to those expectations? We know they're going to be disciplined. We know they're going to be physical. Brett Bielema wants to control the line of scrimmage. He wants to build the teams from the inside out. They're going to run the game. They're going to play action. They're going to play great defense. They have the experienced quarterback. They have Luke Altmaier coming back. The run game, Laufrey there. Fegan, they're going to have some weapons. They're going to line up. They're going to run it right at you. You're going to have to stop them on 3rd and short. You're going to have to out-physical them. 4th and 1. All those situations, it's going to come down to trench warfare, old school smash mouth style of football. But the Big Ten, they live off of that. A lot of teams that can play that style of football. Can Illinois dominate in the season? Last season, they averaged 28.3 per game, throwing for 211, running for 154, giving up 21.7. But Western Illinois here should honestly have 0-0 chance to win this game. FCS team, so we don't have any spreads. Those are going to come out the day of. But Western Illinois, last season, they were giving up 43.4 points a game in the FCS. So you know Illinois, they're going to come out here. They're going to curb stomp them. They're going to open up quick. They don't have a bad offense, but Illinois, get those starters out, work the depth, get a lot of reps to the 2nd, 3rd string player. I have the Fighting Illini winning this one 48-7 and cruising here, getting prepared for that Big Ten play. And now moving on to our Saturday, August 30th matchup. Saturday, that means college game day, big noon kickoff. That's real college football. That's the morning when we wake up and we love whatever's going to be starting out. 12 p.m. on ABC. Syracuse, this team won 10 games last season. Kyle McCord led the nation in passing. But Kyle McCord's gone. That entire deep wide receiver core, they are gone. Fran Brown here, he's been rebuilding this team, recruiting well, working the portal, but going to be a lot of first-year starters in this scheme. They're on the road versus number 24 Tennessee Volunteers. Nico transferred off. Massive loss, not because he was a great player, but because he had a full year in this scheme. Transferred at the end of spring football, so they have another quarterback, and they have Aguilar transfer in. Hasn't had that many reps on this team in this game, but thankfully for you, you have Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive minds in college football. He's going to be working the weapons. Bishop, Aguilar, Staley, Brazel, Matthews. The weapons are there. You had a top 10 defense last season. A lot of those guys are off to the NFL. You have to replace that production, but you know Tennessee is talented here. You want to start out the game with a couple cupcakes. Syracuse, probably not going to be fully set in your scheme right now. Tennessee coming in here, massive favorites, 14.5-point favorites, a 50.5 over-under. That's actually been moving a lot right now. I'm going to go with Tennessee controlling this game at the line of scrimmage. Their offense controlling it, but Aguilar might be kind of slow getting started, but once they get started, they should be able to control the second half. Tennessee wins this one 34-21. And this easily is probably hands down the best game of the week. Might be one of the best games of the season, and it's an out-of-conference Game 1 matchup. We have 12 p.m. on Fox. If you are a football fan, you better have this game on. The number 1 Texas Longhorns versus the defending national champions, number 3, the Ohio State Buckeyes. The SEC versus the Big Ten, dueling it out. Whoever wins this game is going to be number 1 on the next bowl the very next week. You are going to solidify yourself at the top of the mountain early on this season. Even though it's an out-of-conference game, you still want to win this game. You want some momentum to start the year. Right now, the Texas Longhorns, they're going to be the underdogs here, but they are the number 1 team. Ohio State Buckeyes, 2.5-point favorites, a 48.5 over-under, but it is what it is. This game is practically a 50-50 pick. Flip a coin. That's who's going to win this game. Both of these teams starting out first-year full-time starters to start the season. We know that we've seen Arch Manning in a lot of backup situations coming in to replace Ewers when he got hurt to start some games. But overall, we haven't seen him as the starting quarterback to start this season. He was always still the backup to Quinn Ewers. He has the name, the pedigree, but along with that comes massive, lofty expectations. People are going to demand a lot from him. Can he live up to that hype? Thankfully for him, one of the most talented rosters, top 3 overall roster. Some might say the number 1 roster in college football. They might have the best defensive line, the best defensive front 7 in college football this season. You have Arch Manning, physical runner, powerful arm. You have Wisner. You have Baxter at the running back positions. One of the better 1-2 running back combos. You have Andreas. You have Moore, Mosley, Ryan Wingo, who is a legit wide receiver number 1. Force feed him the ball. You have a great defense. For the Buckeyes, they're also bringing in a first-time starter, Julian Sayin here, slinging the ball, pushing it down the field. You have Hartline taking over as the OC, Patricia coming over as the DC. Some moving pieces there. Sayin, first-time starter here, first start against Texas. Thankfully, it's going to be at Columbus, Ohio. You have the best wide receiver in college football, Jeremiah Smith. He's the best offensive player in all of college football. You have Caleb Downs, the best defensive player in all of college football. Very talented roster. This game can honestly go either way. Last season, Texas 33 points a game, giving up 15.3. The Buckeyes 35.7 points a game, giving up 12.9, which was the number 1 defense in the nation last year. But a lot of those pieces are gone off to the NFL. But it's one of those games that is going to be extremely close. I have Ohio State winning it 30-27. We will revisit this game, but it's going to be a fun one no matter what. And how about this game at 3:30 p.m. on ABC? Number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide versus Florida State. Florida State, obviously, you have Gus Malzahn taking over as the OC, one of the better offensive minds in recent college football. You have Castellanos transferring over from Boston College. Mobile quarterback, he will throw some, but he's mainly going to use his legs, probably going to run for 1,000 yards. They have the revamped defense, bringing in that Nebraska mindset on the defensive side. Kalen DeBoer bringing back Grubbs as the offensive coordinator. This is his style of offense, vertically pushing the ball down the field. They're going to get away from the Jalen Milroe offense they were running last season. They need to concentrate on that run game, though. Very lacking in the rushing attack. They have to hit the run game. They got to line up. They got to out-physical you. The run game will, in turn, open up the play action. And we know, with their quarterback situation, they're going to be pushing the ball vertically down the field. Massive chunk plays here. You have Ryan Williams back at the wide receiver position. But with Ty Simpson taking over as the quarterback here, this is his first start versus a Power 4 team. Not saying that Florida State's some great overall team. They're not bad here, but it's his first start. Might be a little rusty, might be a little slow coming out of the gate. Right now, Bama, 13.5-point favorites. The over is going to be 50.5. I have Bama winning this one, but I think it's going to be a little sloppy first half, but Bama ultimately walks away with a double-digit win. They win this one 28-14. But use it as a little bit of a building block, as a learning curve. He will build on it every single game going forward throughout this season. And how about this game? This is going to be a complete curb stomping at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. You're going to have the Marshall Thundering Herd, who couldn't even really field a full team for their bowl game last season, had to back out. They'll be playing number 5, the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia here, heavy favorites, 39.5-point favorites. The over is going to be 55.5. Gunnar Stockton taking over at the quarterback position, taking over for Carson Beck. Look for them. Look for Bobo. I say it many times, I am not a Mike Bobo fan. I don't like his style of offense. They got to get back to the basics, get back to the run game, get back to the play action. They led the nation in drop passes last season, but a much improved wide receiver core. Noah Thomas, Bell, Zachariah Branch coming over from USC, one of the best slot receivers in the nation. Gunnar Stockton, mobile quarterback, use those legs, extend plays. Massive expectations here. Georgia's had pretty good quarterback play for the last decade overall. They have to continue that. They have Kirby Smart here. The defense took a little bit of a step back last season. Still a top 25 defense, but we know Georgia's expectations are so high. It's always top 5, top 10 every single season. They got to get back to that. The SEC is going to be very difficult this season, but you're opening up versus Marshall. You should be able to curb stomp this team, beat them into oblivion. I have Georgia winning this one 52-7, but Marshall does get a garbage time touchdown. And then what might be one of the most experienced teams in the nation at 3:30 p.m. on CBS/Paramount, you have Nevada Wolfpack versus number 2 Penn State. Franklin's team, they made the playoffs. They got over that bowl jinx that had been holding them back. They won some playoff games. Very talented team, just like Michigan, just like Ohio State the last 2 seasons. This season, they are the experienced veteran team, bringing back a lot of their starters from last season. Warren's gone, but still they got a lot of weapons. Drew Waller, he has to step up, live up to the expectations. 5-star quarterback. He's one of the most experienced, if not the most experienced starting quarterback in the nation this season. They have the best 1-2 running back combo in the nation. Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen. It doesn't get better than that. They're going to cycle these guys in. They have a great offensive line. They have Dinkins at tight end. Pena transferring over from Syracuse, great slot wide receiver. Ross Hudson might be their deepest wide receiver core they've had in some time. Allen's gone, but you bring over Knowles from Ohio State, might be the best defensive mind in all of college football. They're going to get after it. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to have a top 10, top 5 defense. They're going to live in the backfield, creating havoc here. They are 45.5-point favorites. The over-under is going to be 57.5. Nevada last season, just an awful team. 23.1 points a game, giving up 28.8. Penn State, 33.1 points a game, running for 202, only giving up 16.5 points a game, a top 5 overall defense. They're going to cruise this game. They're going to win this game easily. I have them winning it 41-10. They get those starters out pretty early. And then 3:30 p.m. on Fox, South Dakota coming to play number 22 Iowa State, who obviously they played week 0. They're now going to be playing in week 1, August 30th. It's going to be on Fox. Last season, South Dakota, actually not a bad offense, 35.8 points a game, only giving up 17.6. One of the better FCS teams, but it being an FCS game, we don't have a spread right now. Iowa State, 31.1 points per game last season, giving up 22.9. We did pick K-State to win that first game. Iowa State's going to want some revenge. They're going to win this one 40-13. And on the Big Ten Network, it sounds crazy to say Big Ten Network for the Oregon Ducks, but it is what it is. You have Montana State FCS versus number 7 Oregon Ducks. Give a massive shout out to Dan Lanning. He's been working the portal, recruiting. He's built this team on the offensive line, on the defensive line. This is a top 5, top 10 overall roster. They are stacked on offense, stacked on defense. Dylan Gabriel off to the NFL. Dante Moore, previous 5-star quarterback, taking over. We just haven't seen him in this scheme very much. A lot of unknowns there, but like 7 of the top 10 teams this season are breaking in new first-year starters. So it's completely up for grabs. It's going to make for a fun season. Tight end, Sadiq, running back room, Hughes, Whittington, Brian Jr., Moore, Casper. A lot of weapons on the team. The offense is going to roll. Dan Lanning has them ready to play. Their defense, we know they started out last season kind of slow, but still they finished the regular season number 1. They did not lose a regular season game. How long will they be able to keep that momentum this season? Big Ten, it's all up for grabs this season. The national championship is up for grabs, but this is an FCS game. With it being an FCS, we don't have spreads. Last season, Oregon, 34.9 points a game, giving up 19.4. Montana State, one of the better FCS teams, scoring 40.8 points a game, but they're going to be suffocated here. I have the Ducks winning this one 44-13. And why not another FCS game? Some teams start them out with cupcakes, but I don't blame Oklahoma here because they have a god-awful schedule. They need these cupcake games. 6 p.m. on ESPN+. Illinois State versus number 18, the Oklahoma Sooners. John Mateer transferring over, number 1 transfer portal quarterback. This guy is a potential top 5 Heisman vote catcher. He's probably going to throw for 3,500 yards, might run for 800 to 1,000 yards. One of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the nation. Going to take this offense to another level. Arbuckle coming over with him from Washington State, so he's in the same scheme. Brent Venables, a lot of pressure on him. Very tough record. They got to get out to a hot start. They're going to have a top 25 defense. They're going to have a healthy wide receiver core for once. With this being FCS, obviously, no spread numbers. Last season, Oklahoma, 24 points a game, giving up 21.5. The fact that they only gave up 21.5 is pretty remarkable because that offense was atrocious. They could not pass the ball to save their life. They're not going to have that problem this season. Look for the offense to get rolling here early. They win this one 45-16. Then at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, Long Island University FCS versus number 15, the Florida Gators. Florida, last season, Billy Napier on the verge of getting fired. His seat was on fire. The most difficult schedule I've ever seen in my entire college football watching life. But he won 8 games last year. Made it to this season, and they topped last season's schedule. They again have the most difficult schedule I've ever seen in my life. They play 7 top 25 teams as of right now, and that is awful. I feel very bad for this team. DJ Lagway, there's been some health concerns, but he is healthy right now. The big concern is making sure that you can keep him healthy over the 12-game regular season schedule. The Gators are going to be massive favorites here. A lot of promise coming into the season, a lot of hype. Last year, they averaged 28.3. They gave up 23.1, but they're going to be much better than they were last year. This team loves playing for Billy Napier. His job is still on the line here. They have to, at least in my personal opinion, match the 8 wins they won last season, but there's just no letting up this schedule. The out-of-conference schedule is rough. The in-conference schedule is just brutal. No matter what, the Gators are going to cruise here. Lago is going to have a field day. They win this one 55-7. You have Mike Elko's team coming up next at 7 p.m. on ESPN. UTSA versus number 19. The Texas A&M Aggies open up the season at College Station. The game's on ESPN. It's going to be a fun one here. A lot of promise for the Aggies again. People always say they're always overrated. They're always overranked. They always win 8 to 9 games per year. But no matter what, when you look at this roster, this is a top 15, top 10 overall roster, loaded with 4 stars, 5 stars, 21.5-point favorites. The over-under is going to be 56.5. UTSA, they did not have a bad offense last season. 33.2 points a game, but they gave up 30.1. They are basically a passing vertical team, 284 yards per game. The Aggies, with Marcel Reed fully healthy, with Le'Veon Moss back at the running back position, Mike Elko is going to play his style of football. Ground and pound, control the clock, run it down your throat. Might be a low-scoring first half, but you will be bruised. You will be battered by the second half, and that's just when they completely step on your throat. They're going to have the weapons. Busey, Concepcion transing over, one of the better slot wide receivers, Craver, weapons up and down the field. They're going to have a great defense as well, and they are healthy. That's the key. They're going to cruise here, but UTSA might get a garbage time second half touchdown. The Aggies win this one 37-18. And then our next game, another FCS game versus Kansas State. You have North Dakota coming in here. Not a bad team. They can score some points. They give up a lot of points. They'll be playing number 17, Kansas State, who we did have winning the Week 0 matchup. You have North Dakota coming in. They averaged 30.8 last season, giving up 30.9. K-State, 30.8, giving up 23.4. We already went over this team stats. They're going to cruise here. I have them starting out Week 0, Week 1, starting out 2-0. They win this one 48-20. Avery Johnson continues to show what he's capable of and what his ceiling is. And if you want some really good football, we have the Longhorns versus Buckeyes as the number 1 matchup, but this is a very close number 2 or very close number 3, depending on how you look at one of our later games. We're going to have 7:30 p.m. ABC, number 9, the LSU Tigers versus number 4, the Clemson Tigers. The Tigers versus the Tigers. Death Valley versus Death Valley. Right now, Clemson, 4.5-point favorites. Over is 57.5. Vegas sees some points being scored here, and this is 2 good teams, 2 good coaches, 2 good quarterbacks. Brian Kelly versus Dabo. Dabo, he's won 2 natties before. He's been here before. This is the best Clemson team he's had on the field since the Trevor Lawrence team that went to the national championship. LSU, you have Nussmeier back, one of the more experienced quarterbacks this season. This is 2 of only a couple teams out of the top 25 bringing back their star quarterbacks from last season. Klubnik, last year's second season in the Riley offense, took massive strides forward, showed what he was capable of coming out of high school as a 5-star quarterback, one of the deepest wide receiver cores in the nation. Clemson's been lacking at the pass-catching position the last couple seasons. They took massive strides forward there last season. Klubnik, this is the Heisman frontrunner early betting odds right now. This guy had a great year last season. Maffa's gone, but still, Clemson is loaded. The defensive team. Oh, Clemson's defense was not your typical Clemson defense last year. But you have Allen coming over as the defensive coordinator. That is going to work wonders. They are going to be aggressive. It is going to be fun to watch. It's going to be the Clemson team of old, especially on that defensive line. LSU might have their fastest wide receiver core here. Brian Kelly, no excuses this season. You have your senior team. You have your senior quarterback. Now is the season to win. Some people are actually picking them to be an underdog to win the SEC. If you win the SEC, you might be one of those front runners for the national championship. LSU last year, 30.5 points a game, giving up 24.3. Year 2 under Blake Baker, defense took massive strides forward last year. Look for even bigger steps forward this season. Clemson last year, 34.7 points a game, giving up 23.4. The offense should continue to roll. The defense should be better. This is going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be decided till the very final 1 or 2 possessions in the fourth quarter. It's going to go down to the end. Could be a field goal that decides. It could be a missed field goal. But I have Clemson ultimately squeaking out a very close win. They win this one 28-24. This is going to be one of the most fun games to watch as an unbiased college football fan. And the next game we're looking at, 7:30 p.m. ESPN plus Arkansas Pine Bluff FCS versus number 23 Texas Tech. Props to Joey McGuire. Props to Texas Tech. This is a team, number 1 transfer portal class coming in. Their defense last season was pretty atrocious. Their offense can score some points, but they have been working the portal. Like I just said, the number 1 transfer portal class, not in the Big 12, in the entire nation. They threw a lot of money at this team. The defense has nowhere to go but up. The offense will continue to roll coming into the season with massive expectations. They could be competitive in the Big 12. If they somehow win the Big 12, you might get Texas Tech in the playoffs. That'd be a really fun thing to watch. Joey McGuire's team, you have Morton back as the quarterback. You have Miller the second at tight end. Eakin, Douglas, Virgil. You had a great run game last season. Quentin Joyner taking over at the running back position. You're going to be able to move the ball. I want to see what that defense is capable of. Last season, you averaged 37.6 points a game, throwing for 297. Running for 166, giving up 34.8 points a game. One of the worst defenses in the country. Just get that number a little lower, and you could be extremely competitive in the Big 12. No matter what, I have Texas opening up this game. Massive win here, but they do give up some points. They win this one 58-27. Lane Kiffin's squad is the next one up at 7:45 p.m. on the SEC Network. Georgia State versus number 21 Ole Miss, who lost a lot of their best playmakers from last season, lost a lot of their defensive studs. They lost Jackson Dart. They lost Trey Harris, who was one of the best wide receivers in the entire country last year. Jackson Dart, first-round overall pick. Ole Miss, 38.5-point favorites, 62.5 over-under. You know Ole Miss last year, they started out the season hot. They were curb-stomping teams. They had massive, huge wins. You have Austin Simmons taking over as the quarterback. Even though Jackson Dart was a first-round pick, some people are saying that the ceiling of Austin Simmons is even higher. Mobile, dual threat, but he's a straight-up passer. You know Lane Kiffin, you are going to dominate on the offense. You had a top 10 defense last year. Where does your defense fall this season? Does it fall back to maybe top 20, which is still great, or does it fall back to top 40? If you can keep it in that 20 to 30 range, you still have a shot to get to 10 wins, a shot to make the playoffs. You have Wright, Stribling, Wallace III, Lee, Diggs, Lacey. There's weapons up and down this field. We know the offense will be good. That's what Lane Kiffin does. What happens with the defense? Georgia State last year, not a good offense, gave up a lot of points. Ole Miss, 38.6 points a game, throwing for 350 running for 176, giving up 14.4 points a game, a top 3 defense in the nation. That's how good they were last year. I have Ole Miss winning this one handedly. They win it 60-14. And then another FCS game, 9 p.m. on the ACC Network East, Texas A&M versus number 16 SMU. This team made the playoffs last year. We did predict them to get double-digit wins. They did so first season in the ACC. Rhett Lashley, offensive-minded, knows how to work the portal. Jennings back as the quarterback. Second season should be even better than last year. Dual-threat quarterback. He loves to push down the field, but he is extremely fast. They can use that with the run game. They have been picking ACC teams dry. They have a lot of playmakers here, but they're having to replace a lot of their production from last year. Looking at their stats last season, they were averaging 36.5 points a game, giving up 22.1. With a lot of those guys gone, though, might take them a little while to get started rolling hot, but thankfully they're opening up versus an FCS team. They're going to win this one. They're going to win it very early on. I have SMU rolling here 47-7. And then a late one at 10 p.m. on ESPN Plus, Northern Arizona FCS versus number 11 Arizona State. Also made the playoffs last season, but Cam Scadaboo, massive part of this offense last season. He was like 60% of the production. He's gone, but Levitt back at the quarterback position, under the radar, potential Heisman contender here. This guy can do a little bit of everything. Younger quarterback, showed what he was capable of last season, especially in the bowl game, in the playoffs versus Texas. They can push it. They can run it. Dillingham, great coach here, took this team to the promised land practically. Where can they go from here? Massive building block. Might not reach where they were last season, but it is still within reach still to make that Final 12, to win the Big 12. Last season, 32.9 points a game, giving up 22.6. They were throwing for 229.5, running for 200.6. I'm very curious to see what they do with the run game. Scadaboo was great. He's off to the NFL, though. How do they replicate that production here? I have Arizona State winning this one 57-14. Shane Beamer's squad, 3 p.m. on ESPN. This is going to be a Sunday, August 31st matchup, one of our rare college football Sunday games, but that's what happens week one. You're going to have Virginia Tech Hokies versus number 13 South Carolina. Shane Beamer's team, the way they ended last season, as hot as anyone in the nation. They were so hot, people were clamoring and fighting over whether they had a shot to make the playoffs. They came out of nowhere. Now everyone has this team circled. Now everyone's taking them serious. You have to bring your A game versus the Gamecocks, or they will come out there and they will beat the crap out of you. They had a top 25 defense last season, top 25 offense. They can beat you multiple ways. They could beat you with their defense. They could beat you with the run game, passing game. Lenora Sellers getting some Heisman buzz. Some people are saying he's a top 5 overall quarterback in the entire country. Smith's there, Faison, Attaway, Harbor, Brown, Bennett Jr. The point is there is offensive weapons here, replacing some starters on the defense. But Shane Beamer, you're going to be getting everybody's A game now. You're not going to catch up. You're not going to surprise anyone this season. Everyone's prepared for you. Can you live up to those expectations? You definitely have the talent here. This team is built tough, too. I have South Carolina rolling here, but Virginia Tech, they had some hype coming into last season. They definitely didn't live up to it. You got to take them serious here. 28.2 points a game last season, but South Carolina, they averaged 30.5. They only gave up 18.1. They are way too physical here. I want to see a hot start prior to SEC play. South Carolina's 9.5-point favorites. Over-unders 45.5. I have the Gamecocks pulling away with the win, 34-20. And how about this game? If it's not your number 2, it's your number 3. We've already went over the LSU versus Clemson, Texas versus Ohio State. Now you have your next top 10 versus top 10 matchup. 7:30 p.m. on ABC Sunday night. Number 6, Notre Dame on the road, coming all the way down to Coral Gables versus number 10, the Miami Hurricanes. This game is going to be crazy. You know what happened to Notre Dame last time they came down to Miami? They got the crap kicked out of them, but that's not going to help Miami this season. Notre Dame coming off of the national championship last season, the runner-up to the national championship. What a great team. Freeman has taken this team. He has rebuilt it in his image. They are tough. They are physical. They play elite top 10, top 5 overall defense. Notre Dame's the favorite on the road. 2.5-point favorite, 50.5 over-under. Look at these numbers for Notre Dame. Even though they don't have Riley Leonard, he wasn't the reason they got the national championship last season. It was based off that defense, that elite secondary, the offensive line, and the run game with Jeremiah Love, who might be the best running back in the nation this season. Last year, they averaged 36.1. They only gave up 15.5. We know that Miami, their defense was an awful joke last year, but they got rid of their defensive coordinator. They're bringing over Heatherman from Minnesota. Great defensive mind. Going to keep the defense simple. They're going to get behind the line of scrimmage. That's the goal. Create havoc, create turnovers, tackles for a loss, quarterback pressures, sacks. You have Carson Beck coming over as a quarterback. He might not be Cam Ward. He might not have to be, as long as the defense is better than it was last season. Miami had the number 1 offense last year in the entire nation. 43.9 points a game, but they gave up 25.3. They give up 33 points per game in ACC play. They have to be better than that. I do think overall they will be better. This is a very difficult game to call. Flip a coin. That's what's going to happen here. You guys can completely call me crazy. I would understand why. But I have Miami winning this one 27-24. It's going to be a fun one. Guys, that wraps up all of our top 25 games we have coming up for week 1 of the 2025 college football season. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, drop them below, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your predictions are, and I will respond to every comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, make sure to check out the pinned comment below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. And, of course, as always, thank you for watching. Guys, we are almost there. It is almost kickoff. I cannot wait.